top pick in the draft, Jamarcus Russell, who is just now getting his start. And Matt Flynn took his team to the national championship. So he may not be flashy. He may not have a lot of what they call the tangibles. He's not big and tall and strong. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm, but he just flat gets the job done. So once again, congratulations to Matt Flynn, and you folks out there deserve to know that. Also, Pickett is has returned to practice. KGB has returned to practice, so we will see how these guys perform when it comes time to play the game. So the changes, pardon me for stumbling, but the changes on the roster moved in two different steps. On Saturday, August 30th, the Packers had to get down to 53, and they did so by releasing 19 players and putting 3 on injured reserve. Those players who were released were Jake Allen, Scorpio Babers, Conrad Bolston, Brennan Carvalho, Tyrone Culver, Spencer Havner was a guy of note, tight end Joey Haynes was a man of note, tight end that we had released, and the two big names that were released from our rosters, A, Noah Herron, and B, Vernon Morency. We also released Ryan Keenan, Danny Lansana, Joe Porter, and Daniel Muir, who was another big name, Taj Smith, Johnny Quinn, Brett Swain, Orrin Thompson, and fullback Corey White. So a lot of cuts. Difficult time for those guys, but the Packers were not done because we had to put some guys on IR. We had to put Junius Costin and J.J. Jansen, our long snapper, on IR, along with tackle Rodney Allen. But that J.J. Jansen being placed on IR really shook up our final cuts and our final adjustments to our 53-man roster. So by September 1st, by Labor Day, Ted Thompson had also cut, get this, Abdul Hodge, because he had brought in a veteran punter, Derek Frost, from the Washington Redskins. Derek Frost is a fifth-year veteran, very good at placement, doesn't quite have the leg of John Ryan, but has very good directional punting. And of course, John Ryan, man, we had 2 exciting plays out of that guy when he got a chance to run. He was successful on both of his first down attempts, and it's sad to see John Ryan go. He's a big, tough guy, but he was just a little bit inconsistent, and that really hurt him. We never quite knew what we were getting out of John Ryan. So now we have Derek Frost coming in, the new guy coming in. So that's a big shakeup. But also, Brett Good had to be brought in. He is our new long snapper de facto. We had to get a guy in. J.J. Jansen went out. This team has been shaken up as far as our kicking. Mason Crosby will still be kicking with the field goals, but Derek Frost will be holding for him. This guy's never held for Mason Crosby before. Brett Good will be our long snapper for our new punter, Derek Frost, and for our new holder, Derek Frost. It's just going to cost. Anything can happen at this point out there on the football field when we have to kick a field goal, an extra point, when we have to punt the ball. I know they're going to quickly dial it in because it's good. Derek Frost is a veteran. Good, I don't really know much about him, but I'm sure they'll be fine. But when we go out there on Monday night, really anything can happen. So we have a big question mark again there. And of course, Abdul Hodge had to be cut to make room for him. Again, I would have loved to have seen some other names I could think of that could have been cut. And Abdul Hodge played his heart out after coming back from knee surgery on both of his knees. Losing him in this way is an absolute travesty. But it's just the way it goes. It's not good, but that's the way it is. So our final roster has shaped up. Scott Wells back in the center position. Of course, we kind of know what our wide receiver core looks like. Brett Swain on the practice squad, so he could be eventually get back. And we know that Abdul Hodge was lost from our very deep linebacker core. The other big shakeup then is Brett Good as our long snapper, and of course our new punter, Derek Frost. So we have our team together. The only thing that remains to be seen is how will they play for the next 16 games. It's exciting. I am very nervous. I will just say this. There have been too many shakeups in the last short bit. There was never any consistency on our offensive line. We've never saw our defensive line go on the field. So you will see I don't want to tip my hand, but you will see with my new predictions coming out on Sunday, the fact that I just don't know what this team is going to look like. I don't think anybody does. Ted Thompson, Mike McCarthy, you had better be working your tails off to get the right calls in for every single play this game against the Vikings on Monday night, because we as fans could be in for a very bumpy ride. And we can mitigate that with the fact that I think we have a well-organized coach who can put us in a position to win. But Mike McCarthy, as above anyone else on this team, has to elevate his game. He's got to be even better than he was last year. He's got to put Aaron Rodgers in all the right positions. And, of course, the players have to play the game, but it is really going to be tough for our coach to make our season as successful as it was last season. And I am not one of those who gives a mulligan to Ted Thompson and Coach McCarthy because it's the beginning of the Aaron Rodgers era. I'm sorry, the way this went down, you decided that you were going to have Aaron Rodgers. Other than that, our team is exactly the same as it was last year. In fact, our team has improved in many ways, other than the injuries and the unknowns. But those are always going to be there. But I do not give Mike McCarthy a mulligan. This is not a rebuilding season. This is a season where you put up or shut up. We have to be successful. Wildly successful, no. By all logical intents and purposes, we should be deep in the playoffs or bust this year. We could easily say Super Bowl or bust this year, especially because of the way that Brett Favre was basically pushed off our team. But there is absolutely no solid argument for this being a rebuilding season. Not with a guy that's been watching, practicing, and playing with this team for as many years as Aaron Rodgers has. This is not a rebuilding year. It is a year for the Packers to be successful, or for Mike McCarthy to start worrying about his job, and for Ted Thompson to worry about his job. So, with that being said, the question mark's there. Tune in on Sunday. It's going to be a late night Sunday night, or if you want to get up Monday morning, you're interested in what the Packers are going to do against the Vikings, tune in. I will have a podcast for you, and we will preview the game against the Vikings. I will make my new predictions after seeing the preseason games for Green Bay, what they're going to go through each individual game, and then shortly after you watch that podcast, it will be kickoff time, Monday Night Football. No bigger spotlight than that. No bigger game for Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy than this. And I hope we will be successful. So, as always, thank you for watching. And as always, go Pats.